Welcome to Salcedo Paranormal. It is Friday, June 10th, 2022, and tonight I'll be covering paranormal news. As always, you can find all the episodes of the podcast, along with links to social media, ways to donate, and ways to contact me at the podcast page, which is Salcedo Paranormal at podbean.com. That's SALSIDO Paranormal at podbean.com. Always happy to hear from you all, whether you have comments or questions or topic suggestions, or if you have stories of paranormal experiences, whether they're your own or from others that you trust. I'm happy to either read those or have you join me on the show to talk about them. And we can go from there as far as scheduling and all that. So tonight is I'd say, a good mix of different kinds of stories here. Just picked up from around the web, and so I guess I can get into them here. As always, I include all the links to the articles I'm going to talk about in the live stream chat and also in the episode descriptions. And thank you all again for always listening to however you listen to the show, whether it's through the live streams or YouTube or the podcast feed. Just found out today that we've hit 2,700 downloads in the podcast feed, and we've hit the 3,000, just past the 3,000 mark on the YouTube views today as well. So thank you all so much. I'm really amazed by that, and thank you all. I'm guessing some of you must be sharing the show because I don't know how else it's getting so many views and downloads. So either way, thank you all for everything. So, but yeah. So hello to everyone in the chat. I see you all there and in the stream. Thank you for being here and listening. So, okay. So I'll get on with these stories here. Is from, let's see, the Washington Post, and it says Egypt unearths trove of artifacts, 250 mummies in ancient necropolis. And this is by Rachel Panet, I think. So, and just for anyone that is not aware, the necropolis is sort of like a city version, or like a basically a burial site, but almost designed to look like a city, I believe. I haven't looked up the exact definition, but just from what I've read and everything. So, let's see here. I've got a pop-up. Let's see if I can. Okay, I think I can get by it. There we go. So this article talks about this discovery. This was recent, apparently, fairly recent. And I think this one is from Derek, the Night Stalker. And this is from the necropolis of Saqqara near Cairo, including mummies and bronze statues dating back 2,500 years. Says that among the treasures were 250 sarcophagi, or painted coffins, with mummies inside. And it says that this was all found during recent excavations at a burial ground outside Cairo. So let's see here. It says that in one of the sarcophagi, they found for the first time a complete and sealed papyrus, and it looks like it is that basically that's similar to other books found before that talk about the Book of the Gates and the Book of the Dead, which both are ancient Egyptian funerary texts. So let's see here. Also, 150 bronze statues of Egyptian deities were found, and also and instruments used for rituals going back to uh, about 500 BC. And let me see here. What else we go in here? Um, so just checking this out more, and I think that's going to cover it, at least for this article. Always amazing when they find things like this. So, and there's more to the article, but it's kind of discussing previous discoveries and um, let's see here. So, let me see here. There's one thing here. Now, this is something I hadn't heard of. Apparently, in previous excavations, two of the mummies that were found had golden tongues, which Egyptian officials said that they were there to designed apparently or symbolic anyway, and designed to supposedly let them speak in the afterlife. So that's a that's quite the thing to have found. Always amazes me how that gold stays good for so long. I know it's metal, but still. So anyway, there's more, like I said, but you can all check out more of the details in this article. So, um, I'll move on to the next one. Any kind of discoveries like that, I think that all these are important in their own ways, and who knows? To me, even if I can't figure out things that directly connect to the paranormal, uh, yeah, I see. From the chat here, I tweet when you pop up or when they pop up, yeah. Uh, but but yeah, so really amazing things out there, and so much news to cover. I mean, there's stuff going out on social media platforms as well, and when I'm not putting these episodes together, I'm not thinking about finding links for these episodes. I sort of do it on the day of, so um, so as always, I don't think I've said it before in the show. I appreciate everyone sending me anything that you think is interesting, and I do try to get to it as soon as I can. Um, I just don't always get to it as soon as I would like. And part of that is because I'm legally blind, and just can't be reading things online as much as I would like to. So, but but yeah, so neat article there, and I'd seen the discovery of the golden tongues before. I just hadn't seen the connection to them to what they were supposed to do, uh, allowing the mummies or the deceased to speak in the afterlife. I hadn't seen that connection, but so really amazing stuff there. I definitely recommend just keeping track of all of that kind of stuff whenever you can, or paying attention to it anyway. So, let's see here. I think I'm hoping this is in the repeat, but we'll see. Um, that's the only problem with doing some of these shows. This is from, let's see, WIOnews.com. And this says archaeologists discover ancient Mayan city at construction site in Mexico. And it's a lot of pictures, so definitely recommend with all these articles checking them out. And but this is basically this burial site that was located um, in Mexico at a construction site. Basically, all this was found because of construction, and there were burials of adults and children there, but also marine life was also discovered in the area. I'm guessing they mean fossils of marine life. So yeah, this says the the article starts by saying the centuries-old ruins of an ancient Mayan city have been uncovered by archaeologists who were working in the Yucatan region of Mexico. Um, and this was reported on May 27th, apparently. This is, I don't think I said who the last article was by. You can check out all the information on these articles, of course. Um, and I can't pronounce the name of this one right here, so. But definitely check out these articles. And so this is this mentions the Mayan civilization, which was Mesoamerican civilization developed by the Maya people. They're noted for their highly developed and sophisticated writing systems, which is, and they're also held for art, architecture, calendar, and mathematics, and astronomical systems as well. So they knew a lot in their ways. And let's see here. This site is called, and I'm not sure how to say that name, but the translation is the Spirit of Man. So the archaeologist said that it has features that are common of the Mayan style of architecture, which is common in the southern Yucatan Peninsula, but rare in near other areas. So it does seem like, if you think about it, there's probably, depending on how far back you want to go, there's always burials somewhere. That's always something I've been fascinated by, in a way. So this article mentions near the end here that people were from different social classes, priests and scribes who lived in these great palaces, and then there were also common people who lived in small buildings. And again, it has a bunch of pictures. So these burial grounds have been located nearby, near this area. And also, so it says the remains of marine life were also discovered there, which suggests that the people that lived in the city, also, besides developing agriculture, they also were into fishing, so to as a food source. So let's see here. I'm just going further into this. So this was discovered after construction began on an industrial park. Apparently, that park will still be built there, but archaeological remains, it says, will be preserved. And it mentions the problem with urban sprawl and development all around the world, and how basically you never know when you're developing those kind of sites, when you're developing new sites, what you're going to find, I guess. So yeah, that's basically that article. Another one of these sites found, which is amazing. And let's see here. So yeah, that's that one. The next one here, I think this is the last of these ancient civilization articles here. And this is from ancient-origins.net. They come up a lot in these kind of categories of these articles. And this says, let's see here. Oh, I missed the title. Okay. Wait, I'm still. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is fascinating in a way. The title of this is "Drought in the Tigris River Uncovers Hidden Mitanni Empire City." And this is, let's see here. Okay. So this talks about basically climate changing in the areas, whether due to human impact or by natural conditions of Earth, um, over long periods of time can cause the rise and fall of civilizations and empires, and so of course different places will end up underwater. But then when extreme droughts happen and heat uh, happen at certain sites, this is what can happen. You can find things like this, and this is this is in Iraq, and the article says that the Tigris River's water levels have rapidly dropped, revealing a 3,400-year-old Mitanni Empire era city. It says it's possibly an ancient city. Starts with a Z. The name of the city is Zakhiku. Uh, uh, so and this is so I was talking about how once things started to be spotted underwater and the water started to go down. There was this huge effort to catalog the area, the city, before the water levels went back up again. So that to me is an amazing concept, and can't imagine trying to deal with all that. Um, so goes into more details about how everything happened, but and then how everything was scanned and cataloged, and more details on that. So uh, very very neat that this I mean, regardless of changes to the planet as far as weather goes and all that and all other issues, at least there's these things that happen, which it's uh, you never know. I guess again, going back to what you're going to find, whether it's underground or underwater. So let me see here. Let's see here. Okay, but so that's the end of those articles for now. The last of the ancient civilization stuff. This is another article from WION News, and this one is titled "Netizens Spot UFO," and we've talked about this a little bit in different chats before. Netizens spot UFO at Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebrations, and of course it says "Find out truth," which makes me wonder how that is exactly. But so apparently during these festivities, there were something was spotted flying through the air across the sky, and let's see here. It says during the official footage of the 9-plane fly past. I didn't know that was a term that they used. It says one can witness an anomaly. It says the planes flew in a formation and left behind a colorful trail of red, white, and blue smoke. And the at first the people that were watching this online or saw this online thought it was there was a 10th aircraft there because in the footage people said they could see a fuzzy image of an unidentified flying object UFO, and it's seen shooting through the sky, flying through the sky behind the planes. And so let's see here. Just looking to see where there's, of course, a lot of social media debate about what that is. Doesn't say much more about any kind of actual explanation as far as I can find. But that's quite the event to have happen. Now that also brings me to this next article because it's not quite the same level of event, but something similar that I think you'll pick up on when I discuss this one here. This one is from the debrief.org, and this one says UFO at the Miami Air and Sea Show? Question mark at the end. And this one is from Jazz Shaw. Some of you who follow any UFO stuff might recognize that name. But I don't. This is a really long article, so I don't really know if I want to get too deep into it. But apparently there was this UFO seen. It was spherical and reflective, and of course, there's the whole article talks about what it could or couldn't be, putting out different theories. But what caught my attention with this article is it's almost a similar thing. These two articles talking about these two events put on by governments or militaries, and then you have these two things that are spotted in the air that, as far as people know, were not supposed to be there. Which brings up all kinds of possibilities, I think, as to what they could be. If they're, it brings up a lot more questions as to what's going on there. If it's somehow, if it is these agencies or governments, their own craft or other governments' craft, or could it be something stranger than that? Could it be actual UFOs, actual objects from others that we don't know about, other civilizations, maybe even? So, just finding those two articles, one right after the other, was really really odd. But so I wanted to share those real quick. And again, you can check out those articles for more detail on the discussion on what these things could be. So let's see here. I think that brings me to the next article, which is. So this next one is another one of those articles that has several stories in it. This is from BuzzFeed, which does seem to do a lot of these articles. This one is called "I Never Really Was a Believer Until This Happened," and it says 28 people share their shocking, unexplained paranormal encounters. And this is from Angelica Martinez. And so let's see here. I'm just checking the stories here, seeing what I can read. I didn't get to go through all these. But so this one, let's see, I think this one looks okay. This one says, it was late afternoon and I had just finished putting a food shopping order through online. My daughter was sitting at the dining room table, so I told her what I'd ordered for her, and she said, "Thanks, Mom. I like those ones." A few moments later, my husband came downstairs and asked me who I was talking to. I said my daughter, but I hadn't looked up from my phone by that point. He said, and of course you see where this is going, he said, "She's been upstairs playing for the last hour or so. I was up there with her." I put my phone down, it says, and saw that no one was at the dining room table. I still can't figure out who or what was sitting at the table that day, but it certainly wasn't my daughter. So, of course, the more accurate part I think there is they don't know who or what was sitting at the table. Again, there's all these possibilities of time anomalies, astral projections, out of body experiences. Even though if the daughter was playing, then who knows? But could have been some ability they had at the time. Um, really neat story though. You, and when you start to read those stories, eventually you kind of, if you read enough of them, you see where things are going before they get there. Um, but still amazing. I never get tired of reading those kind of stories. Let's see here. I'll read at least one more, maybe two. Let's see what's next, and we'll go from there. Oops, this one. Let me see here. It's skipping around a bit. Okay. Let me see here. Just checking. Okay. So this says, let me just check on this. And I'll just, okay. This one says, one night my wife and I were putting together a bookshelf after we moved into a new apartment. Before we got started, we laid everything out in front of us in our empty living room. I looked down to read the instructions and start putting the thing together, but the screws were gone. We couldn't find them anywhere. We looked all under the pieces, excuse me, the boxes, everything, but they were gone. As we were about to give up for the night, we noticed that the screws were right on top of one of the shelf pieces. We didn't think much of it, so we started putting the bookshelf together. Near the end of the steps, all of a sudden we got a strong whiff of cigar smoke coming from the room. At that moment, we turned over the particle board to nail it on the bookshelf, and there was a fresh circular burn mark on the back of it. We like to joke that the ghost of the store that they owned, or that they got the shelf from, came home with them that night, and it has been hiding things ever since. So that's a neat one there in a way. So let's see here. I'm just checking to see what else is going on here. Just trying to find the interesting but not too negative ones. But there you go. Let me see. There's all these stories in this article here that could be fun to read. So yeah, I think I'll leave that. Oh wait, there's this next one is this next one says this hospital encounter that turned a skeptic into a believer. And let's see what this one says. This was about a year ago. I do security at a hospital. The chair was on the other side of the hallway. Oh, it might be a video. We'll see. And on my first patrol, but on my second patrol, this is what I had found. This is really the only time I've ever experienced anything spooky like this. Never really was a believer until this happened. And let me see what the picture shows real quick. I'm guessing the chair moved. But yeah, sorry about that. But so anyway, there's a lot of other stories in here. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go through all these yet. But some fun reading for you in case you need something like that. So yeah, just going back to that one story with the daughter. Maybe her consciousness split. Got that from chat here. It says for a second, yeah, it's possible. But yeah, some of these articles that are like that have some neat stories in them. So yeah, I thought that was fun to check that out. So, but I've got a couple more articles left. No, that's okay. I won't say his name just yet. I don't. Let's see. I don't. Oh, Hey, hello, Mike. I see you there in the stream listening. But uh, but yeah. Um, so I have two more articles here. These are both from uh, original.newsbreak.com, and these are more about haunted places. So this one says, "Would you visit the ghosts of the beautiful and terrifying McHenry Mansion in Modesto, California?" Of course, with these questions for these articles, when they ask these questions, 9 times out of 10, my response is, yeah, sure. Um, so, but I know that's not for everyone. But so let's see here. I'll go back into this article, and this is from EVM, is the author. I think of both these articles, but let me see. I'll find out when we get to the other one. This is talking about this mansion, which started. It was constructed in 1882 and finished in 1883, and it belonged to Robert McHenry. Um, it was a businessman, had many jobs, many businesses, along with his wife Matilda, and mentions that of course this is a mansion, so yeah, it's very beautiful, um, and so so amazing to look at. I'm guessing. Says the mansion stayed in the family for a long time, generations, uh, and different families and everything. So goes to the history of the place, and then it gets to the paranormal side of everything here, uh, because it's said to be haunted, and some people that work there won't talk about what they've experienced, of course, but some will, and there's been reports of um, claims of sightings of both of the McHenrys in the upper one of the upper rooms. It says there's no direct ghost tour um, schedules or ghost tour events, but they do have regular tours. So, um, and let me see. As far as all the other sightings is, or all the other experiences there is, let's see here. That's basically it. There's sightings of the people there that live there. So, looking more into this. So yeah, uh, neat, neat article there, neat discussion there, and so yeah, check out that place if you want to, and look into it more online. And starting with that article, the last one here is another one of these questions, and this is again also from EVM. Uh, this says, "Are you brave enough to visit the quote unquote static monster haunting the Liberty Memorial Building?" And this is in Bismarck, North Dakota. And apparently there was let's see here. According to former employees, now this is the library in it. Is part of the main part of the building here. Other people have claimed the area has a weird vibe to it, but let me see here. Apparently, these experiences range from looking more into here. The looks like a basically oh, and apparently there's a sighting of this figure and a dog. I think based on what I'm looking at here. But let's see here. Looking more for stories here, and this is longer than I thought it was. Okay, so apparently they do have ghost tours. They're offered year round, and now I thought it said in here there have been reports of doors opening and closing, and let's see here. Apparently, now this is something different. Apparently, there was a haunting there known as that was a figure there that was known as the Stack Monster. I guess for walking among all the bookshelves. But apparently they it's been seen. This figure's been seen, but apparently not for a long time. It's a former employee there suggests that they 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 saw this figure leave and hasn't been seen there in a long time, which is something that I wonder about how that happens and when that happens and why. Because of my own experience in my apartment here with the figure that used to be in the closet. Okay, so I guess I thought this article said there was ghost tours, but it says there is no official ghost tour often, but people are still welcome to. So it's just a tour of the complex, which includes the library memorial building. So, library memorial building, not Liberty. So there you go. That's what you get when you've got a legally blind host. But anyway, so neat article there. Check it out more in more detail. And so yeah, just check out that article. All these have been a lot of fun to find, and I haven't, like I said, read through all of them, but it was fun just going through and finding all these articles for the show. So um, thank you all for being here. That's going to do it for today. I'll be back on Monday with more paranormal news. And I've already got the articles basically saved up for it. So I'll talk to you all then on Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the next episode of Salcedo Paranormal. Take care.